I'm starting with my astrology deck today because I just want to see if the collective that I'm reading for today is linking in with the Leo full moon. Oh, and now my ear's going. Okay. So you're likely going through some kind of divinely guided situation because there's a lot of astrological alignments that are coming up. This Leo full moon really marks the beginning of the eclipse season that we're coming into, and eclipses bring about a lot of change. So it's likely that you're going to experience some shifts in your connections, in things that you've been going through. And I can feel an energy coming through my solar plexus this morning, which is all about your confidence, your willpower. So there might be something that is affecting your confidence, something that you're really having to call on your willpower for, something that you're wanting to do but you're holding back or something. But let's have a look. So who is the collective that we're reading for today, please? So this is obviously linking it into the moon energies that are surrounding us at the moment. But let's see if we can get some signs as well coming out so we know who we're reading for. Who's in the collective? Oh, okay, so we've got Aquarius there. So we might have air signs here and water as well. So likely water signs, which would be Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. And then if it is air, not just Aquarius, that would be Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. So they may be significant signs here, but Aquarius specifically, because that has come out. And water, okay, so, I do have Pisces on the bottom of the deck there as well. So this is obviously linking in, I do have Jupiter here too, so there might be a bit of a turn in luck coming in your situation. But let's look into what exactly is going on. So I'm going to start with my pop art so we can get some context. And then we can switch to the other decks. Right, so what is the situation that's being guided through the eclipse season, please? Let's see what's going on. Okay, crikey. So someone's been through a bit of a tower moment. It's looking like it's the masculine that you're potentially connected to, which again is air signs. So the air signs are making sense here. So this person could be an Aquarius, or it could just be Libra, Gemini. But there's been some kind of tower moment, okay, which has broken down the connection between you guys. This might have been quite a new connection as well. It might not have been a situation that you were in for very long, but something has come in to break this down. Now, there may have been a situation with boundaries here. So where this is broken down, it may be because your boundaries were overstepped. And that's either why you've stepped away from the situation or why it's just come crashing down. But there's something to do with boundaries being overstepped here. And this has left you feeling very vulnerable. So emotionally, this has hit you. So this has likely triggered some kind of emotional wound that you have. So maybe an abandonment wound, I'm feeling, but it's triggered that for you. So the situation breaking down has left you feeling very vulnerable. So it might be that there was behaviour here that wasn't very honest. And I think, this isn't nice. I think you really saw this person as the sort of person that you've been waiting for. They were a real, wish fulfillment for you. And this breaking down so suddenly with this, something like catastrophic has happened, has left you in a bit of a vulnerable energy. I'm not sure you're even fully aware of what happened. There's a lot of confusion. They're trying to put a lot of illusions up, I think. So I don't think you're even entirely sure why it's broken down. but they know that this needs to be addressed. So they know that whatever happened within the situation, whatever's caused it to break down, they know that that needs to be addressed. Now, it seems that they've been trying to balance things, okay? So where there's something catastrophic has happened here. So this might be, I mean, we can look into that, but this might be in terms of like things in their life, because then they're trying to rebalance things. It's like they're trying to restabilize their life. And they're wanting to come in to like offer something to you, but they know that things need to be rebalanced. And I don't know if they're in a position to do that yet. Also, they know that this needs to come, that they need to come in with very open communication here. So they're aware, yeah, which I don't think they want to do. I think they are used to being in cycles where they're able to repeat these patterns. And I think maybe they've got into a situation with you where they've done their normal pattern. The situation has broken down because of something sudden, something catastrophic that has happened. This is their normal behaviour, but for some reason they're wanting to rebalance things with you, which I don't think is normal for them. I think normally they just move on when this sort of thing happens. They're wanting to rebalance things with you, but they're so used to repeating this pattern that they don't know how to reapproach. They don't know how to come back in. And they know that it's going to take very open, honest communication. And I think they're very concerned about that. They don't know how to make the approach because of the way that things were left. What is this tower? I need to look into this tower. So there may have been there may be family or friends around them at the moment that are sort of influencing this decision. And there's things that they were holding back from you. So they were very overburdened about something. They were very overwhelmed, but they didn't feel that they could share that with you. And so it's almost like they've separated themselves, or when this catastrophic thing has happened to pull you guys apart, they've gone off to work on themselves, but I don't want to say in secret, but you're not aware of it. You're not aware of what's going on in the background here. You're not aware that they've taken themselves off to try and work on this, to rebalance things, to restabilize things, because they're not sharing that with you. They're almost hiding it. I don't think they want you to know how badly they were struggling through this situation. And I think they do their normal behaviour. Let's check. In fact, I'm going to switch cards now. I think they do their normal behaviour, which I don't want to say it until it comes out. And then I think where they've left, and normally it wouldn't bother them that they've left the person behind, I think it started to bother them. And I don't think they're used to that. I don't think they're used to feeling that way after removing themselves from a situation. How are they feeling now that this situation has ended? Please give us some context. I think they're sitting in regret. I don't think they realised. Okay, so it looks like they might have left for a third party here, and this isn't a family or friend. This is them running to another woman. And again, with the friends' involvement here, it's almost like this is being encouraged by their friends. Like, what are you doing? Like, why are you so stuck on this one girl? Like, come on, this isn't what we do, sort of thing. there's something to do with their friends here, but this is, so the person that they've run, the third party interference here is not friendship, it's sexual, but there is an involvement with friends here. So it's almost like they're encouraging it, like they're egging them on. That's what I can hear. They're like, come on, like, what's happening to you? And I think this person has very addictive behaviours. So that could be addictive behaviours when it comes to sexual patterns, things like that. When it comes to women, and they like to control things, but they're replaying everything over and over in their head. I don't think they expected to feel the way that they feel now that they've left. I think it's left them in a weird energy, and they're just trying to almost make sense of it. I don't normally feel like this, because they were wearing a mask. So they may have come in and professed their love at the beginning and made you think that they were really falling for you, but it was a mask. Well, I think they think it was a mask, but now that they've left, I think they're realising how they actually felt. They're remembering the intense connection that was between you. They're reminiscing. They're replaying events. They're looking at your photos. They're sat in nostalgic energy. There's regretful energy here. And they know that they're repeating cycles. It's like they're sat in this energy of regret now. Like, what have I done? What have I done? Like, I didn't realise who this person was to me. And now they're just reminiscing about the connection that you had, and that they don't normally feel like this about people. Like, they're replaying everything over and over in their head. They know that they've repeated a cycle here, and I think they're regretful about that they've made a mistake, that they listened to their friends. And it's like they're trying to be positive. They're trying to make out like, oh, it's fine, never mind, plenty more fish in the sea, when actually they're sat in this deep regret. There is movement. There is movement coming in this connection. They have such strong feelings for you. I feel like they want to come. Yeah, they do. They want to come back in. They want to communicate with you. But like I said earlier, they don't know how to approach. So if go back and watch part 1, otherwise this won't make much sense to you, but they don't know how to approach. They don't know how to come in. I'm just looking at the time. This is part 1, sorry. There won't be another part for you to go back to. They don't know how to approach. And they now know that you're their soulmate. That's how they're seeing the connection now. They must feel so foolish that they listened to their friends and left. I was expecting to see running energy here. I was expecting to see like avoidance sort of energy here. Something has happened. So what? Let's get some more context. What was the tower moment? What's the black swan moment we've experienced here? Okay, so there's mirror energy here. So it might be that the separation was divinely guided. So if you're in a twin flame connection, you get into a twin flame connection, it feels very, very intense, all these things pop up, and then you are wrenched apart for the growth, for the lessons. But it's at that point that you see that it's a twin flame connection because there needs to be growth, there needs to be movement forward. Otherwise, it's a karmic situation. If it's just coming into closed down cycles, but with this mirror being here, it's likely then that you're mirroring each other. So you've separated to go off and do this work on yourselves. So there's going to be a lot of reflection that's going on. Oh, but we've got the Grim Reaper on the bottom of the deck. That's not good. That's relationships over, no second chances. Let's see what kind of communication is coming in. Is this just communication, or is there some kind of confession that needs to come forward here? Because... oh, there's the water signs again. Water signs are definitely significant here. What's their communication coming in from this person? There's so much regret here. It's almost like they... yeah, so there's massive communication issues there. So I'm struggling to get my words out then as well. So I don't feel like they have the confidence to be able to come forward because they know they've lied about things. So there's deception here. So they've not been truthful with you. And it's because I think they've run to a third party. But I am surprised that we don't have the runner card here. I think they've gone to a third party, and it's because that's what them and their friends normally do. That's the cycle that they go through. They've listened to their friends and they've run to this third party. So it might not have been they might not have gone off to date somebody else. It might have just been some kind of one night stand or that kind of situation. But obviously they know they need to come in here with the truth, which is interesting as well, because I feel like most people would just try and hide that, keep it to themselves. So the fact that they know they need to come in and be honest about this is very interesting. But again, we've got they'll be back. So they want to come back in, but there's no communication coming forward. They're frozen in fear. They're emotionally distant. There's either physical distance, so you live far apart, or there's massive emotional distance here. But there's no communicating. There's no confession. So they're not ready to... Earth signs could be significant here as well. Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo. There's no plans to communicate. There's no plans to confess. So they're at the moment they're not planning on coming forward with any kind of communication. So they're just sat in this regretful energy. One of you might be moving at the moment, so this is a detail. So they could potentially be going through some situations at the moment where they're moving home. But, I mean, you can still communicate with someone, can't you? It's not the right time. It's not the right time. They're not going to be coming forward with communication at the moment. So that is interesting. So they're just sat in this regretful energy, unless the communication is being divinely guided. Let's check that. Is the communication not coming forward yet because it needs to happen in divine timing at the right moment? Is the communication divine timing? So there has been a lot of hurt here, but there is healing that's going on, which is good. So that means they are reflecting. They are, literally I've got the other card that says reflection. They are reflecting. They are processing what has happened, what they've done. Like I said, they're sat in a very regretful energy. So they know what they've done. They know that they've caused pain, but they are trying to heal through this. So they are reflecting on what they've done. So that is positive. So they're not just shoving it to the side and thinking, oh, well, they are regretful. They know that they need to reflect on their behaviours and they know that they're repeating cycles, like I said earlier. I think they're trying to hold on to some semblance of hope, which is why I think they don't want to come forward, because then once they receive that no, it shatters that illusion, doesn't it? I've got an itchy nose as well, which I really believe is an argument or a surprise. So that's interesting as we're talking about communication. It's like I think they're too scared to come forward because, one, they don't want to burst that bubble of the illusion of that possibility, because once you take that away, you're left in a very different energy, aren't you? They don't want to take that risk. They're too scared to come forward. But also, I think they're not sure of what energy they're going to receive from you. But they can feel the deep connection between you guys. Okay, so this isn't waiting for divine timing. So this is, they're not communicating because of their actions, because of their thoughts, because of them. It's not being guided divinely to a specific time. I'm just going to see what sort of energy they're sat in. Let's put these cards away. Right, I've got some new cards. So let's see what energy they're sat in, and then I want to see how they're viewing you. Okay, so what energy is the Divine Masculine sat in at the moment, please? What is their current energy? They're still masking. I can see my raccoon card. That's from a different deck, but that's interesting. That's very interesting. Okay, so energetically, they're doing good things, okay? So they're really going within. They're really, really going within. The first two cards to come out is the porcupine and the hermit crab, okay? So the porcupine is about connecting with ancestral wisdom. It's about connecting with your culture, with your ancestors, and starting to like walk down a bit of a spiritual path and connecting with those sorts of energies. And the hermit crab is about going within. It's about going internally to listen to your inner teachings, your inner voice. It's about connecting with yourself, going on a journey of self. That's really interesting. So they, even though they're sat in this energy of fear, they're processing, they're thinking about their behaviours, because we've got the boar here as well, which is very destructive behaviour, okay? So the boar comes in and just obliterates everything. So they're reflecting on their destructive behaviour. So they're really going over things. And with the wolf on the bottom of the deck as well, the wolf is about observing. Like, wolves are clever, they're stealthy, they don't make sudden moves, they track, they watch, they're aware of everything that's going on around them. So to be sat in that kind of energy is they have their self-awareness and their awareness for what's going on around them is increasing. But this is likely the energy of why they're not coming forward at the moment, why they don't want to communicate at the moment. They know that they need to just be observing what's going on. They're aware of their destructive behaviour, but I think at the moment they're so new to this internal journey and trying to process things like that is taking them a minute, you know. But they're really observing everything that's going on around them, like they've got this new awareness. I just want to check this rooster card because this is a brand new deck for me. Okay, the rooster is about dominance. So they are aware that their behaviour is destructive and that they try and dominate situations. They try to control everything. This is what they're reflecting on at the moment. This is what they're going internally to try and process, why do I do like this? Why do I destroy everything? Because obviously their behaviour's been very destructive here. They've done something that has completely sabotaged the connection, and they're trying to figure out now why they did that. So obviously what they're playing over in their mind. Why do I do this? Like, why have I done that? So they are going over this in their mind. They are trying to process that. But they want to come home. They feel that you're their home. The energy that you give off, the way that you make them feel, it just feels so welcoming. So you feel like a sanctuary to them. Hang on, let me check these two. So they're trying to remain optimistic with this kangaroo card, but there's a warning at the end of their cards with the goose. So geese are aggressive. They're an energy that you need to be wary of. So that ties into this destructive behavior. You need to be cautious of this energy, because yes, they're going internally. Yes, they're trying to connect with like ancestral wisdom, with the divine, but their behavior is very destructive. Very. So there's a lot that needs to be broken down. There's a lot that needs to be worked through before they can come back to you, back to their sanctuary, back to their home. That needs to be worked through. Because this energy is still, it's risky for you. It feels risky to me. I don't want to use the word dangerous, but it feels risky. So let's see your energy. What sort of energy are you sat in? So what is the energy that the Divine Feminine is sat in, please? So your energy immediately feels much more gentle to me. It feels graceful. I'm seeing a swan. It feels peaceful, graceful, which just doesn't go well with the destructive behaviour. Yeah, and immediately you come out as the eagle and the griffin. So and the swan on the bottom of the deck. The swan. So the swan in this deck is soulmate energy, but I think this is pointing to your energy, because I literally just said that I could see a swan, and you have very beautiful, peaceful, graceful energy. I can feel it. But the eagle here as well is about being able to see things from a higher perspective. There's no bird that flies higher than an eagle. I think that's what it says in the book. Don't come for me if I'm wrong about that. But there's no bird that flies higher than the eagle. So you have a elevated perception. You're able to view things from a different lens. So you're likely you are, I know you're a spiritual person with this griffin card here, but this is a fated connection. The griffin. Is the griffin the fated connection or the fated timing? Hang on, because this is a brand new deck for me. It's the fated timing. So the situation that you're going through at the moment is a very rare and fated moment in your life, okay? So it likely is being divinely guided, but it seems that you might be the one that's being guided at the moment. So they're not being guided with their communication that we checked on earlier. That's not divinely guided, the communication. But you are in a very guided moment. If the griffin energy is at play, you're in a very rare and fated moment in your life. So you need to be paying attention to what's going on around you. You're really seeing things from a higher perspective, and that is significant at the moment. So you're likely on some big spiritual journey, and this lesson has come in for your growth. So it might not feel like that at the moment, but watch how far this pushes you forward. And you are someone that is here to be of service. So you're a divine being. You're someone that's on a spiritual path. You're here to be of service with the tapir. Tapir? Is that how you say it? You're here to be of service. And you have unicorn energy. So you're very magical. You're very connected. There's like magic all around you. You're probably one of these people that gets signs and sees like weird stuff literally everywhere you go. Like it follows you around. Like your friends, the people that you're with probably comment on it. Like such weird stuff happens to you all the time. You have such magical energy around you. Okay. But here's a bit of guidance for you at the end. Because you're obviously on this spiritual journey. So this has come in for a lesson for you. So there's lessons within this for you. And I think maybe you're somebody that normally takes the easy route. Whatever feels easier for you. Which I think would be just blindly accepting this person back. I think you have very nurturing, very motherly energy. And so when people make mistakes, you tend to be a bit like, oh, it's okay. Like, I can help you fix that. But you need to remember that it's not your job to fix people. You can shine a light on things, to highlight things for them to then go and reflect on, to work through. But it's not your job to do that for them. So you have house cat energy, which is taking the easy route. Like escaping the drama. And you are working through lessons at the moment. So there's a significant lesson in here for you. And as you're at such a pivotal time in your journey, the Leo with the lion, through this Leo full moon, there's something that's being guided for you. So let me look up this. What was the kangaroo? So you need to really pay attention to what's going on around you at the moment, okay? It's likely that this is going to pick up a bit as we get to the eclipses, which is on the 17th. The kangaroo is the optimism. So you are optimistic as you go through this situation. You do have optimism. But I'm worried that the optimism is tying slightly to this energy, and that it's really important that you have strong boundaries here. There's likely inner child work that's being done at the moment. So the lessons that you're going through at the moment, it might be triggering some childhood wounds for you that are needing to be healed. And you guys came out as mirrors earlier as well, so it might be that you have very similar childhood wounds. You've been through similar things growing up. Crab energy. Let me check the crab energy. The crab is about boundaries. So yes, it's really important that you're implementing your boundaries in this situation when this person returns, because they are, with the moose energy here, they're a very formidable energy, okay? So they likely come in very strong and overpower situations. So these two together is a really big sign that they're just going to come in and almost try and intimidate the situation, try and control it, and try and put that sort of energy over you. So you need to really make sure you're maintaining your boundaries here, because this is a pivotal moment for you on your journey. Pivotal. It's very important that this energy is worked through in the right way. But you, with this perception that you have, where you're able to view things from this higher perception, I do think that you're going to be able to work through this in the right way. I just want to get a few more cards. How long have we got? So I'm going to use this deck. So immediately, the divine masculine energy is repeating patterns. They are going through a cycle at the moment where they're likely repeating a pattern. So something would have happened within your connection where they had an opportunity to change their cycle, okay? So something would have happened. They would have been presented with an opportunity where they were given an opportunity to break down that cycle, but obviously they haven't. They've fallen victim to it. So they've succumbed to the temptation of that person. That potentially could have been a message coming through to them with some kind of offer, like, hey, want to pop over? And they could have said, no, I'm with this person now. I really like them. Sorry, my eyelashes are like sticking together. I really like them, but obviously they haven't. They've succumbed to that temptation. So now that needs to be worked through. And then they will likely be presented with another similar situation to see, did you learn? What advice can we give our divine feminines here, please? So they've repeated that cycle that they had a chance to, and there's the father energy straight away coming out to confirm. They had a chance to break down that cycle at that point. Why do I feel like it was a message that came through? Because they've run off to that third party for some kind of one night stand, something like that. They've run off to that person. I feel like when that message came through, they had the opportunity to go, do you know what? I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to be that person anymore. But they didn't. They repeated the cycle. That's really sad. There, and there's the devil card. They're the two cards that I cut it on. So this energy is not the best. Let's be serious. Like, yes, they're doing the internal work. Yes, they're reflecting on things, they're going within. But they so quickly chose to repeat that cycle. Which caused the situation between you guys to come crashing down. But I don't know if you're aware of this. But it's caused the ending of the situation. And you're being asked to call on courage now. So you really need to find your inner strength here in this situation. So the number 21 might be significant here, or 3. Why do I feel like I feel like when I don't know if it's when you find out this information, because there's no confession coming out here. I think it might be more like if you find out this information. There's such an overwhelming feeling of disappointment coming over me now. Like, I think when you find this out, that they actually ran off to another woman, I think you're going to be so disappointed. You had higher expectations of them. That's what I'm being told. Your expectations were higher. So this is going to be hurtful to you. But you're on a massive journey. So you need to not let this pull you off your path. Don't let this pull you off your path. Because you're somebody that has a lot of empathy for people. So you're going to feel this. And they're likely going to come in with some kind of sob story or some kind of reason. And they're going to try and pull on your heartstrings, pull on your empathy here. It's so important that you keep up those boundaries. Again, with the friends lurking at the bottom, it's like they're luring them in. That's how it feels to me, like they're pulling them in. This isn't nice. I'm sorry. You need to ground. You might be a life path 9 here. That's also hermit energy, the 9. You need to connect in with nature. You need to ground. Because this person is a mirror, your mirrors. There's likely so much triggering that's going on at the moment from the behaviours from this situation. but you need to ground, you need to connect in with nature, especially if you're a life path 9. It's going to be really significant for you, grounding. And there with the inner child work. So this is linked to inner child healing. There is inner child work that's going on. All the same cards are coming out from the different decks. There is inner child work. You are mirrors. There's repeating cycles here. But you're going through a stage of renewal. And if you're going through a stage of renewal as well, and I feel like you're learning a lot at the moment. You're learning a lot through the lessons that you're going through from what you've experienced as you go through that. Oh, I've gone over the time now. Uh-oh. I'll have to do this will be 3 parts of 20 minutes then, which is quite long for me. I normally stop at 40 minutes, but I've gone over. You are going, so we'll keep going. We'll dig in a bit extra. I'll get another deck out. You are going through a stage of renewal, and you are learning a lot through the lessons that you're going through. These are even linked to soul contracts, these lessons. So there's significant things for you to be learning, but you're going through this stage of renewal. So it's so important that you don't allow them to pull you from your path. My throat's closing up now as well. So I feel like when this person reapproaches, there's the potential that you're gonna find it difficult to find your words. Boundaries are so significant here. Let me switch decks. Let's check shadows, because there's obviously a lot of damage here. And with the inner child healing that's come out twice, we might be able to get some guidance on, yeah, this person's going through a dark night of the soul, which is why they're connecting with the ancestral energy. It might even be their ancestors that are reaching out to them, but they are in paralysis. Look, overthinking and paralysis. So they're too fearful to move forward. What are the shadows that this divine masculine's working through, please? What do we need to be so wary of? Yeah, so they are in sacred rest at the moment. So this again is why the communication is not coming forward. There's someone that has a very strong inner critic, so they're very critical of themselves. They're very critical, and they have a fear of love. So they've been through hurtful love situations in the past, and they've got these walls up. Yeah, they've got abandonment issues. Look, so this is why they're hiding. This is why I get the strongest feeling that they've run away, even though that card didn't come out. Well, they ran to the other person, didn't they? And it's likely that they've done that because of the fear of this. Well, if I run and break down this connection, then they can't leave me, can they? So I won't get hurt. But in doing that, they've hurt themselves. Because now they're realising the depth of the connection that is between you, but it's almost like they're sat in the energy of, is it too late? Can I fix this? Which is, their inner critic is not going to be helping that. They won't forgive you. You've gone too far this time. Da-da-da. So they're trying to bypass it. So this is likely the energy that they're sat in right now, which is why they're not coming forward, which is why they're not communicating. There's no confession coming. There's no communication coming because they're trying to avoid it. They're breaking the karmic cycle. They know that they need to break these karmic cycles. They know they've repeated a cycle. I think they can see it. I don't think they could at the time while they were facing that trigger, because it's very different when you're in the moment and you're being presented with that trigger. You go into fight or flight. You go straight back into all of these wounds, straight back into the darkness, into those lower energies. It pulls you, sucks you straight back in like a black hole. Like, you're just back in. And once you pull yourself out of that, and the energy disperses a little bit and everything starts to settle down, it's then that you're like, shit, what have I done? And they know that they've betrayed you. They know what they've done here. Which again is why they're too fearful to come forward. They want everything to be perfect. They want... Again, this is that energy that I was speaking about earlier, where they don't want to pop that bubble of there being the potential. Once they approach, once they get that no, that's it. They know it's a no. So they're too scared to do that. They're too scared to take that risk, to come forward. So they're just sat in their shadows. Where they're really going internally as well. So it feels like with that internalization, with them going internally, they're really sat in their shadows. Like it's like they're immersing themselves in it. I think they think that's how they integrate it. So it's like they're trying to learn from their shadows, from what they've been through, but they don't know how. They know they need to learn from it. They know they need to heal from it, but they don't know how to do that. And they can see your inner light. It overshadows them. That's how they feel. They feel that your light is brighter. What I can see now is a bright light shining, but it's casting a shadow over someone that is sat crouched with their head down like this. You know, like where you sit literally like this, like they're sat like that, and you're shining a massive light, but that's casting a shadow over them. I don't know if they're jealous of your light, or if it's more coming from a place of it makes them feel lack, it makes them feel unworthy. So the fact that you're moving forward on your spiritual journey and likely shining your light even brighter is going to be very triggering for them. Because it's making them feel a lack. But that's again why you need to keep your boundaries so high. Because even though, yes, that's sad that they feel like that, you mustn't dim yourself so that they can feel better. They need to work through their shadows so that their light becomes brighter, and not expect you to dim yours so that they can catch up. That's not the right way for this to be worked through. That's not the right way around. You don't lower yourself back to them. They need to increase their light to get to you. So make sure you maintain your boundaries. And if they come back in and say this to you, you know, like you do so well, everything goes so well for you, you're doing so good, it made me feel like I wasn't worthy. Don't let that pull on your heart. That feels, it might not be, it might be genuine, but to me that feels like a manipulation tactic. And again, my throat is closing up. So that's going to make you lose your voice. That's what I can feel, my throat literally closing up. So when they come in and they try and start communicating with you and say things like that to you, it's going to make you feel like you can't speak your truth. But you can. Because that's potentially why they're doing that. That's why they're saying that. To dim your light. To make themselves feel better. And no, we're not doing that. No. I just want to get a little bit of advice for you before I leave you. Okay, I can hear Curiouser and Curiouser now. So I'm getting my Alice in Wonderland deck. That's a message that my guides give to me. when things are getting a little bit confusing and there's something I need to figure out. Curiouser and curiouser. Right, so what guidance can we give the collective to help them move forward in this situation? Let's just get you some extra guidance before I finish off. Regret. A moment's regret. So they are sat in regret. But they are going through a death and rebirth cycle as well. So this has triggered an awakening in them. But you're on the precipice of change. So this is the pause for you before action comes. So you're sat in a bit of a pause energy right now. So things might feel very quiet. But it's the calm before the storm in the best possible way. It's the pause before the action comes. You're really creating the life that you want at the moment, that you're moving forward into. So don't let this derail you. Don't let this come in and pull you off your track. You need to believe in the journey that you're on. There's no need to fear. Keep pushing forward. You're on exactly the path that you're meant to be on. You're doing exactly the right things. This is more being presented as a test for you, I believe. For you to keep up your boundaries. Because there was repetition. So you were likely repeating cycles as well, especially where you guys are mirrors. If they're repeating a cycle, you're repeating a cycle. But I think your cycle that you were repeating was just accepting people back, even when they've acted badly, which is why the boundaries are so important this time. You're heading in the right direction. Where you're moving forward to is where you're meant to be. There might be a choice that's coming up for you that's being presented. So you may be placed at a crossroads off the back of this, but you're really getting to know yourself at the moment. So you've likely been on a journey of self-discovery too. True, I said. So you're being true to yourself. Is there anything else I need to know? Yeah, again, the right way. So you are heading in the right direction. What you're moving towards is the right thing. The path that you're on, the course you're on, is where you're meant to be heading. So keep moving forward. Such a curious dream. Curiouser and curiouser. So again, grounding, returning to reality, coming home. So you are on a journey of self-discovery. You are on that journey of coming home, but it's time to wake up because this is your moment. And that's what that card said earlier, where you're in a really rare and fated time in your life. So embrace it, because there's likely very exciting things that are coming towards you. But just remember, do not drink the poison. You can't be everyone's saviour. You're not here to save everybody. So focus on yourself and your boundaries, and that's what's going to lead you home.